Hi, my name is Aaron with Fleetistics, and today's tech tip is going to be talking about different types of antennas that are used with GPS tracking systems. There are a couple out there that you may see. All the antennas operate roughly the same, and sometimes there's a GPS antenna and a cellular antenna in the same unit, and sometimes you don't even see the antenna because it's built into the device like we would have in something like this. But let's talk about antennas in general. One thing to understand, and a lot of people get wrong, is that the GPS satellites are transmitting a signal. There is no two-way communication in most vehicle tracking applications, from the vehicle back to a satellite. There are satellite communication services, but the typical GPS tracking scenario that uses cellular technology is going to be receiving a signal from the GPS satellites up in the sky. That information is going to be processed in the device and then transmitted via a cellular network where it's routed to where you can see it online. So all of the devices that we have some kind of GPS receiver antenna in them, including your phone, same type of technology. And the technology has gotten significantly better over the years. It used to be that you had to have an antenna that went on the glass, which is kind of old school now. The algorithms used for decoding and understanding what's coming from the satellites is much, much better. And it allows devices like the OBD plug-and-plays to be installed in the dash, well down in the dash, and still get really good tracking data. In the old days, that would have never been possible. You got to get that antenna on the glass. So let's take a look at a couple of the different types of antennas that you may run into if you're still using something that requires an antenna. The first thing to understand is that GPS antennas are directional. So you always want to make sure that your antenna is, the receiver part of the antenna is facing in the direction of the satellites, obviously. However, the double-sided sticky tape doesn't always represent the side that goes towards the sky. So although the tape is on this side, this may be an antenna that's designed to be mounted flat on the dash because the antenna is in the top part. Whereas on this antenna, it really looks the same from both sides, but you'll notice, which you can't see, but it does say this is the GPS antenna side and this side needs to be to the sky. So if you got that wrong, you might not be getting good GPS information, so your track data doesn't look quite right. When you're installing these, like this is a combination antenna, cellular and GPS. Typically you're going to put something like this in the A-pillar or along the A-pillar. They can go high up on the windshield as long as you don't have a magnetic sun film up there. And a lot of times these can also go in the dash. And if you're going to put it in the dash, be mindful of where you put it in the dash. High up in the dash is going to be better, and making sure that the right side of the antenna is up. You don't want to take the GPS antenna and actually stick it to the metal frame, because then metal will block a GPS signal and you're going to get really bad data at that point. So be careful about where you put these. Another popular place is behind the mirror. A lot of modern vehicles, though, there's some kind of sun tinting going on back there. A lot of that tinting has metal in it, which can provide problems for GPS reception. And the last thing to talk about are the OBD devices, and these are the newest technology. They're super simple because you just plug them into the OBD port, but if you don't want to plug it into the OBD port because it might get bumped or removed by the driver, then there are various harnesses that allow you to take it out of the OBD port and move it up into the dash. Like again, in the Go system, our antenna is actually located in the bottom of the device, because if it was plugged into the OBD, the GPS signals would be reflecting off the bottom of the vehicle and being received underneath. Most people would look at this and say, hey, look, the antenna is probably in the top because the satellites are up top. That's not the case. With the Go system, the antenna is in the bottom. So when that unit is moved up into the dash, if you mount it up against a frame with the bottom like this, you're going to block the signal. It would be turned over and then mounted to the frame in this manner. And double-sided sticky tape is a great way of doing that. There's some products from 3M that are great for automotive applications. You can also get a mounting bracket, which this slides into. You can zip tie the device to the mounting bracket, and then the mounting bracket actually zip ties to the vehicle, so it's very secure. One key thing about these devices is you want the device to move with the vehicle. So if it's loose, the accelerometer information in most of these types of devices is going to be off. And if you have enough bad accelerometer information coming through, you stand a good chance of the device being turned off by your provider because it's generating a lot of excessive data because of a bad install. So keep that in mind when you're mounting these things, and always be conscious and make sure that your installer knows what side of the antenna is for the GPS reception aspect, and you'll get the best information that way. So that's your tech tip for today. I'm Aaron with Fleetistics. Give us a call if we can help. Thank you.